So I got some records, thought it'd be a good idea to showcase them like a few of the other guys are doing, and yeah, just see what you think. It's quite eclectic, there's a lot of rock and stuff and metal and whatnot, but yeah, I don't know. I'll show them to you pretty quick. I'm not going to waste time on them unless I sort of got something to say about them. Anyway, the first one is Accept. Got this a few weeks ago. I got to be honest, it was the first album that I bought from Accept, and I don't know. Musically, it's fantastic. Love the guitaring and whatnot. The vocals, yeah, I don't know. You either like them or you don't, I guess. But it's cool. I mean, it's probably going to be the only Accept album I'm going to get. I know Balls to the Wall was their big one, but whatever. It's all good though. The next one is AC/DC High Voltage. All these ones are 1981 releases, so unfortunately they're not the originals, but that's fine. So we all know High Voltage, and then there was the other version, which is basically TNT, but might as well have it in the collection. And speaking of which, TNT, Dirty Deeds, Let There Be Rock. I picked this one up not that long ago actually, so I was pretty happy to have that because I don't see too many of those ones around actually. Highway to Hell, and of course you got to have Back in Black, which I guess most people who are into AC/DC will have. For those about to rock, The Razor's Edge. I picked this up at a record fair, quite cheap actually, so I was pretty stoked to get that because I know that it can sell for a little bit more than what most people would want to pay. And then moving on to Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic. Japanese copy of Rocks. Alan A. Parsons Project. This one's arguably their best, but I don't know. I don't think they have a best album. I think they're all pretty good. Pyramid, I do really like Pyramid. That's a cool album for me anyway. This is probably one of their weaker albums. I don't know. It's still pretty good. And obviously Eye in the Sky. And on to something completely different. Tory. I got to admit, I'm a huge Tory fan. Tory, Kate Bush, PJ Harvey. That's my trinity. This one here is Tory, but I think this one is on. Yeah, so this one is pink vinyl to go with Under the Pink, which is quite cool. And then we have another release. So this one and Little Earthquakes that I showed you just before, they're American pressings this year, or no, 2015. Anyway, they're the newer release. Same with this one, Boys for Pele. Another fantastic album. And Unrepentant Geraldines. It took me a while to get into this. I know some people don't really rate it, but the more you listen to it, well, for me anyway, it's pretty good. I like it. It just took a little while to grow on me. This one, Native Invader, I mean, straight away for me, it was really good. So I understand she's putting another album out some stage, but I mean this was 2017 I think. Yeah, so she's probably due for another album. Angel Witch. Picked that up at a record store. It's the only one I've ever seen actually, so I'm pretty happy to have that. Buckman Turner Overdrive. Can't really go wrong with these guys, right? Most of their stuff is all pretty top notch. This is the second album. I picked that up for $4 in a second-hand store. Not Fragile. So the story goes, when Yes released Fragile, these guys, it was a bit of a, I guess it was a bit of a piss take. Apparently they named it after the Yes album Fragile, calling their album Not Fragile. Four-wheel drive. This is when I think they started to sort of lose their edge a little bit, but still a good album. What's this one? Yep, Head On. Again, not quite as good, I think, as the earlier stuff, but it's listenable. Bad Company. So these, all the Bad Company albums, I've got three of them. They're all English pressings, which is pretty good for New Zealand. Most of our pressings seem to be Australian or New Zealand, but it's good to get a few English pressings in your collection. So I think Straight Shooter and the self-titled album were their two better albums. Run with the Pack, still a good album. Not quite as good, I don't think, as the other two, but and then we kind of move a little more extreme. Behemoth, Apostasy. Great album, in my opinion. Another Behemoth here, Demigod. Again, if you listen to Behemoth, you'd know these albums. There's only two at the moment. I want to get the Satanist and the new one that's coming out, which I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure I'll get that eventually. First, Black Sabbath. This one is on is a Neems release, but I also have inside. I've got a Vertigo pressing of it as well. I happened to pick one up at a record fair. That's not the one. He didn't have a cover for it, but he was willing to give me the Vertigo one for like next to nothing. So I went, yep, thanks very much. I'll take that. And I've got a little bit of Sabbath. I'll show you a few other ones. Master of Reality, obviously. It's not. I mean, it's probably it's good condition. The cover's a bit crap, but the record itself's pretty good. Paranoid, of course, you've got to have Paranoid. These are all Vertigo releases, by the way. I think, yeah, Master Reality. So yeah, they're all Vertigo, which is a good thing. Volume 4. Yep. Sabotage. Apparently the story goes with this, with the cover here, is it wasn't meant to be on like they weren't supposed to be dressed like that for the cover. They were mucking around, and yeah, a bit too much LSD and whatnot, I guess, especially when you look at Bill Ward. I mean, really. But I think those were his wife's tights or his partner's tights or something like that, and yeah, anyway, next thing they know, it's been released as the cover for Sabotage. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Great album, considering what was going on with the band at the time. They really put out a fantastic album with this one. Mind you, they're all good though, right? And Heaven and Hell, obviously with Ronnie James Dio came on the scene. And the last Sabbath album I have is Mob Rules. So I want to keep these to like 10 minutes. I know, you know, record showing videos can be a little bit mundane, so I just want to keep it short and sweet, and I'll finish off with, well, I'll start part 2 with Blondie, I think, is the next in line. Anyway, I'll see you then.